quilty friends, it's Carolina Moore, your favorite sewing and quilting YouTuber, and today we're doing day 5 of the 2024 Mini Quilt Advent. If you're new around here, go down to the description. All the information you need to get caught up is right down there. And if you're joining in, let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't already, open up your envelopes. Alright, we are back to doing half rectangle triangles today. Today is the hardest block that we've done so far with all of 5 seams in this one. That's right, 5 seams. No big deal. It's going to come together super quick and easy. So let's start by removing the masking from our template. So we're just going to peel that right off and throw it away. You're the first to use this template, so you get a nice, clean, fresh, brand new template. And now we are going to combine this with yesterday's rectangle. So this is the half rectangle triangle of this. 2 of these put together will make one of these. Alright, so we're going to pick our fabrics, and we just need 2 fabrics. One for kind of like the bow tie part of our half rectangle triangles, and then one for kind of the background of our half rectangle triangles. And without looking at the fabrics too much right away, I think I like this one and this one. I think I like these 2 together. I think that's going to really pop for those bow ties. So I'm going to get those cut. Alright, so here are 2 fabrics, and I was originally thinking this for the background and this for the bow ties with this fun busy print, because busy print could also be used for the background. And now I'm almost looking at using this negative space here for the background. A little bit of the, ooh, that would also be fun to have part negative space and part, okay, we're gonna do that. I love coming up with these designs as I'm going. It's just fun. And oh look, this looks like a perfect spot to get started. So I need 2 of these. One is going to be the top left hand corner, and one is going to be the bottom right hand corner. So I'm going to cut. And this is one of those fun things about fussy cutting, is that you really get to pick the part of the fabric that you want to feature. So in this case, I found this cute little truck, and that's really going to show up in this block. So that's my top left hand corner. Now I need to cut this bottom right hand corner. And look, this truck is in here again. So I'm just going to repeat that. I'm going to have the truck and the truck. That's going to be fun. Alright, now I've cut those 2, and from this same fabric I need to cut 2 half rectangle triangles. One is going to go right down here, and one is going to go up here. And I think I might be able to cut these completely from the negative space, so they're really not showing. Maybe not. Nope, there's definitely going to be, but that's not bad because it's going to be the part that tucks in here. Okay. So there is going to be some that shows. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on purpose. Alright, I'm grabbing this bell here. I don't know if I'll be able to grab it on the other side as well because I don't see it along the bottom, but that's okay. Maybe I'll find another little motif that I will put in the other corner. Alright, so there's this one, and if you look, it's almost like that design is continuing, hopefully, kind of. And now I need this one. Could do those skates. Yeah. Go ahead and do that. And I'm just eyeballing where this kind of middle line is. It's not exactly perfectly in the middle. The line itself is kind of up and down, so it doesn't need to be exactly perfect. But if you wanted, you could use like a dry erase marker and mark on your template to be able to get this more exact. right, and so this one's going to end up coming down a little bit more. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. And so now I'm going to do the 2 bow tie pieces. But because I switched out the design on this, I don't know if I love this dark green. Like, I love these 2 fabrics for the contrast, but now that this is kind of like magic, looks like it's spreading from this bow tie. And I don't think I've ever done this before, where I've changed my mind on fabrics mid-cutting, but I feel like this is just going to look really cute in this block. So I'm going to switch it out for this presents fabric instead. Or not presents, sorry, the ornaments fabric. Okay, so now I'm cutting this piece and this piece. So one is upside down and one is right side up. And let's get some fun ornaments in there. There we go. And one upside down. I feel like that flows really well with those 2 colors. It doesn't have quite the pop that the other one would, but I just like, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with the other one. I just like this one. All right, so that's our cutting done, and now it's time to do our piecing, all whole 5 seams of this. So we're going to start with these 2, put them right sides together, and just like before, when doing our half rectangle triangles, we want to line everything up at the 1/4 inch, whether you do that on your template or using a ruler or using a mat, or you do it here at the sewing machine, all are okay. And because we have multiple pieces going on, this is also the first time that we can go ahead and chain piece. So I can grab these 2, put them right sides together, bring them to the sewing machine, line them up, and sew. So I'm leaving these pieces here chained on the back, which means I don't have to cut the thread in between. It's a little bit quicker way of sewing, as long as you don't get things confused and mixed up. So now that both of those are sewn, I'm going to clip them apart and clip off my extra thread. And now these can be pressed. So I'm going to press towards the dark, which I guess is this peachy color fabric. That's fine. And then I want to clip my dog ears now already, so they don't get into the seam allowances of my little block here. And let's see, this one's going here. And because of the directionality of the prints that I chose, so those ornaments being right side up, those skates being right side up, that bell being right side up, I know exactly where all these pieces are going. So now it's time to sew them together. In the instructions, I have you sew these 2 together and then sewing them into rows and then sew the rows together. But you could also sew into columns and then sew the columns together. That's just a personal preference. Both ways will get you the same result. But I'm going to do it the way I did in the instructions, which is sew it into rows and then sew the rows together. Oh, and I could have chain pieced that, but I'm just stitching away, having a good time. It's not the end of the world if you don't chain piece something. Probably took more time to notice that I didn't chain piece it than I saved, or that I lost, I guess, by not chain piecing. So now we have our pieces sewn together and we're going to need to press them.
we need to press them not towards the seam because we want to reduce the bulk. So we're going to press towards this larger piece here and just go ahead and press them on both sides. Give them a good press. I like to press from the back and then also from the front just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. And pressing in opposite directions like this is going to allow us to nest our seams, and that makes it so much easier to line up these points. So you can see they're lined up here. And as we put them together, one seam is in one direction, the other seam is in the other direction, and they're going to nest right into each other as we take them over to the sewing machine. So go ahead and sew this seam. And that is the last seam on this block already. I can't believe it. It was a whole 5 seams. This is the most seams we've had so far on a block. Now here I want to show you, you can press them in one direction or press the seam in the other direction, but I really like to spin the seams here. So you can see one seam's going in one direction already, the other's going the other direction. So if you follow those around, in this case clockwise, you should be able to pop open that center. Sometimes you need to pick at it or remove kind of like a stitch or two in the back to get it to pop open nicely. And of course, the first time that I'm showing you spinning seams here in this series, it's not behaving, but just pull from this side a stitch or two, and spinning the seams really reduces the bulk of all those seams, so the entire quilt will lay flatter and quilt nicer when it is time to quilt it. So now that we have figured out what direction to spin those seams, go ahead and give it a good press. And then also from the front, and now is also our chance to see how well we did in that point in the center if all 4 of those pieces came together beautifully. So let's go ahead and check that out.
I love the way that this one turned out. Such a fun, easy little quilt block. 5 whole seams, but came together so quickly, and I just really love the way it turned out. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Friends, let me know in the comments how you're doing, and make sure you press that like button. I will see you right back here tomorrow for day 6.